What's up? Um, Chilling outside, doing this on the go, kinda. But the new moon's tomorrow, and didn't forget about September horoscopes either. I will rock that soon. It's just been a busy week, a fast-moving world and pacing. Um, with this new moon, in a very detailed and earth-toned energy. The Sun and Mars are also hanging out, and Mercury and Venus are also hanging out within the same signs, which I think is two very distinct counterparts, either clashing or coming together. I think the daytime perspective will accentuate the masculine, and the hidden perspective will remind us of the significance of the feminine. Because, like I always say, the most feminine thing you can do is create, and the most masculine thing you can do is protect that creation. And I myself feel most at home within he, him pronouns, because if the most sacred masculine thing you can do is honor and protect, then that is the role that I serve, of ancestral knowledge and what have you. But that does not grow without acknowledging emotion and depth and the details beneath that surface, which I think is very much Virgo's energy, kind of calling us to reel ourselves in and sort of figure that shit out. So with that being said, I will pull a few cards on these buckets that I'm sitting on to see what we can call in and acknowledge for this new one. What we can create, what we can shed, all that jazz. Where are we sitting? The angles in this, I mean, this month, what is it? Neptune's going into opposition or something. The angles will build the structures, the details, the finer details. Thank you for hanging out with me. Sit straight, take some deep breaths, open up your lungs, and gesture with your hands out in front of you as if we were hanging out and sitting together on this lovely day. And take some deep breaths with me. Deep breath in. And exhale, shadow card. Deep breath in. And exhale. One last deep breath in. That was subtle, like avoiding the impulse. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Three of Pentacles, which is very much creating within this Virgo energy the details of both what we think and what we do, and how that manifests in conscientiousness or compulsivity, which is that impulsivity that I felt. It was just like twitchy. which is like the want to get up and do something, but also that kind of leaves you rushing yourself and missing the point or missing the details. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, Strength, and the Queen of Cups. Strength being the solidity of this, the center point of this, the balance of this, which again is not about taming the lion with fierceness or force. It is, however, that the lion, the divine masculine, is not even tamed, just like communicated well with by this gentility of divine feminine, of that infinite nature of understanding, compassion, creativity, etc. Because masculine and feminine are just ideas, and ideas that exist within us all at all times. Because everything is queer: motion, sound, etc., life, nature, coding, even binary code is only a language because it creates beyond the binary, within the non-binary. The Queen of Cups being the future of this, or the preceding energy of this, or perhaps the coming down of this Three of Pentacles journey of creation of atmosphere, because it's the details around us. The Knight of Pentacles, I think, is the honor that we move forward with, and while that is not necessarily a physical or earthy pentacle, it is this earth sign, this grounding, and the way that weight and mass manifests for us in a non-physical way, or in a non-sight way, which is what the Queen of Cups has faith in, because she's also doused and dressed and erupting from water, which is, again, queer in and of itself. Google Tale of Two Waters. But also such a complex thing to erupt from, and yet her power is in understanding that, and in being able to play with that, or play in that, and allow it to represent where she's coming from on the inside. The purples in this too is spiritual energy, and while I think that is really overwhelming for a lot of intuitive people at certain points in time, what I think this is saying about the world is, in strength we often think to dig directly, and what this Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups kind of rises gently into is the indirect, the finding it in presence and in essence rather than in excavating any particular site. I feel like I've talked about this before too, but like when you just kind of point to the obvious of symptoms, or just try to like directly go to that site of injury, not understanding that your body is this constant ebb and flow of energy, and where we think sciatica needs to be addressed directly in our left hip actually needs to be addressed in like the opposite leg, foot, or shoulder, because of the way our beautiful bodies entangle within and of themselves. There is divine union just in you. That is the ultimate union. It's not about fucking counterparts or other people. Although, yes, that comes with that. That's the tertiary, really, which is why there's 3 in the Lover's card. Somewhat irrelevant, but I'm sure that's coming up too. Let's see, what else? The green that starts initially is also kind of an overgrowth, And while I think that's beautiful and that manifests in its glorious garden, what she aspires to is sort of the cultivating, like bonsai trimming, which requires incredible patience and time and skill. And it is a subtle doing. You still do have that honor and protection, masculine energy, but the feminine is in the details, in between that action, in between that responsibility to that living other sentient being. I mean, I don't know if sentient's the right word, but we're just giant plants without our genitals in the air, and plants respond to frequency and shit the same way that we do, and communicate amongst other plants in the same ways that we do on social media. So never think that you're better than, and also cultivate yourself in that way. Maybe Virgo season is about you being your own motherfucking bonsai tree. And what powerful healing plants often are the ones that require that kind of maintenance. Which brings me back to this Three of Pentacles, and perhaps what a powerful cusp of creation we really can be on if we slow down and nick off our dead leaves and understand what details are necessary to further our growth. I hope that makes sense. With that being said, let's pull some numbers. Ooh, bottom of that was also the Ten of Wands, which only adds to all of that, but literally everything I just said about cultivating growth, and perhaps faster than we anticipated, which is, again, not rushing strength, not rushing that lion, but caressing it and detangling its mane, metaphorically speaking. I'm just trying to give you some imagery based off what I'm seeing. Okay. Let's pull some numbers, get time involved, even though you are so very involved these days. Yeah, I can already feel that speed. It's like building in my chest. It's not my favorite feeling, but it is kind of exciting. Alright. Again with the breaths, my friend. Jesus, maybe it's just falling right on down. Alright. Hands are in front of you. Lengthen your spine, open up your chest so that you can breathe fully and freely and comfortably. Slowly, if you'd like. Whatever floats your boat. It's your breath, not mine. Place your hands out in front of you as if there's cards with you. Jamming and dropping shit. Many a thing. Cool, that works. Sweet. Okay. Back to what I was saying. And that's all it. The details in time. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Shadow card. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Shadow card. One last deep breath in. And exhale. Shadow card. Time does not feel patient. It's the same, like, tenseness I get, or, like, fidgetiness, but, like, with more behind it. Um, Time does not feel like it's giving you the space you need for patience, or is not asking you for patience, but that's what you need to be asking for. Again, with the union thing, 8 of Diamonds, which is actually these two hanging out, and out of Fountain, which is the information that water carries and the information that we pass on between parties, whether that's just how we relay to individuals in general, or to people in general, how we relay ourselves to society, to group settings, or how we relay ourselves and communicate with individual people, and where that feels strengthening and feels like building, because 8 is, again, cyclical, and above strength we also have that sort of 8 figure 8 thing going on, which is the infinite nature of open lucency, which is divine feminine, active in the masculine as well, whether that be the two coming together or what have you. The 7 of Wands is the bottom of the deck, which is very much a blessing. Do not get distracted by the details of things you do not have. Find yourself lost in the details of that which you do, and find yourself grateful for. That is an ultimate vibration that will pull you out of that tenseness and that vibration of time and pressure when you are the seed. Ace of Spades, Jack of Hearts, exactly that. You are the seed. That's kind of your, like, secret. And also what may require introspection rather than long off dreaming. Sometimes, yes, it's great to plan for the future, but if you're not excited about life now, where the fuck do you think that momentum is going to go? And that's very much what he is. Wow, he's even kind of like gazing off into this union. If you feel like somebody else is going to complete you, you got some work to do, my friend. Because that ultimately is like this reverse. It's just unfulfilling, because you'll always find somebody else more interesting, more smart, whatever the fuck. Or some other need that doesn't need to be satisfied, or that isn't satisfied, unless you satisfy that for yourself. Unless you can communicate with the waters of yourself fluidly before you can share that with someone. It's the wrong secret to focus on, when the secret is, like I said, amidst time and pressure, you are the seed of life. And when you distract yourself with those outside, not grounded, but earthly, physical manifestations rather than essence manifestations, it's like oversaturating yourself, or like rotting the roots, or drying yourself out, giving too much. One or the other. It can be one or the other, but that's also the extremes of, like, the way society fears the tree of death, and embraces the tree of life, when they both are one and the same at their most central point. Which ties into everything. Our masculinity and femininity, the way we represent that, act on that, the way we think in that, the way we create in that. Which, again, isn't about your body or anything like that. It is more so like intuitive, receptive energy, or active portrayal of, or left brain, right brain kind of shit. Stillness and motion, all of these things very much weave within and without each other. Within and out of each other, but not without each other. There you go. That's not the future. Like, I feel like that's the simplest thing I can say is, and like the general overall is like, if you're dreaming for the future, that's great. But if you are not meeting your needs enthusiastically so now, that momentum is going to carry that. And I feel like capitalism has created toxicity within, self-love prior to loving, in the sense that it comes with a lot of money spent and a lot of things in which you do not have, or ways in which you can beautify yourself, when the point is to radiate that from the inside out without anything, without a fucking app program, expensive facial cleanser or whatever. um, it's not about that. And that's, again, the misperception of the literal world understanding earthen elements, and that mass isn't necessarily always seen, which is also just science. If you believe in atoms, you can believe in yourself, because you can't see that shit either. If you believe in muons, you can believe in yourself, because that shit comes in and out of different timelines constantly. So, yeah, let me not talk your ear off about science. But I hope that gives you something to think about, and I hope that you can channel the feelings that you want to look forward to today. And maybe that's what this new moon is making room for. The details within your own life that need or want manicuring before you extend that or bestow that or what have you. So yeah, sit in that, rock that, and utmost gratitude always. And with that, I have to jet. But I love you all very much. Kaleleka, kuniga, nehena. Which in my language is, I'm very grateful for today. Are you? Party on.